Wait! We already made a video about this, didn't we? Yes, that is true. The last video of yesterday's show was the USA and Sweden conversation wherein we spoke about Quinn Hughes and JT Miller defeating Elias Pettersson in overtime. Pretty good game, I would say, but ultimately I wanted to focus on Vancouver's remaining star player who had participated in that Sweden and USA game, and who is the subject of various conversations throughout the hockey world today. No, we're not going to be talking about Pettersson getting traded to LA in this video, although that is a very prominent idea that has started to pick up steam for whatever reason the past few days. Thank you, David Pagnotta, I guess, and thank you to some of the other LA writers that are talking about Elias Pettersson. But I wanted to refer back to Sweden-USA from yesterday, and also dive into Petey and his performance as a whole at this tournament, and whether or not he actually was misused. So, as we had noted yesterday, Team USA beat the Swedes 2-1 in overtime. They were winning for most of the hockey contest before Mika Zibanejad tied things up in the third period. It's inevitably Quinn Hughes who gets the game-winning goal in overtime. Now, we noted in our post-game video yesterday that Elias Pettersson actually started things out very well for Team Sweden against the Americans. In fact, the first shift of the game saw Elias Pettersson get two pretty nice chances right in front in the face-off circle. He got two pucks onto his stick, he ripped them on goal, stopped by Hallam twice, and then Petey also did some pretty good moves to keep the puck in, blocking away some US dump-out attempts, and circling back around the offensive zone, making a play to the other guy on the other side. Petey had a very nice opening shift of the hockey game. And this is one of these situations where, even though Pettersson walked out of shift number 1, which was a measly, however many seconds shift it was, Pettersson, he only had himself however many minutes this is, 4:45 in the first period in general. Even though Pettersson had, let's say, a 30 to 40 second shift to open up the game, it really showcased the level of skill that this guy has as a pro hockey player. Yes, he's making $11.6 million. Yes, he is not a 100-point scorer anymore like he was 4 years ago. But Elias Pettersson has evolved into a much more defensively responsible and maybe just more of a careful player. That's probably the best way to describe him now compared to what he was doing and how he was playing back in that 100-point season with Kuzmenko. But nevertheless, Elias Pettersson had 4 minutes and 45 seconds of time on ice in the opening period. He had 4 minutes and 15 seconds of time on ice in the second period, and in the third period in OT, zeros across the board. Pettersson was one of the 2 players that was benched in the third and overtime periods. You had Elias Lindholm, who also didn't play. He played about 8-9 minutes in the first 2 periods, like Pettersson, but then they both sat for the third period in overtime. Jesper Bratt was kind of the opposite. He sat for the first 2 periods, then played 5 minutes and 46 seconds in the third, and 39 seconds in OT. And then you have Victor Hedman, who also was sidelined, but that was for different reasons. He suited up, but he didn't play at all. Ultimately, you had guys like Pontus Holmberg getting more time on ice in totality in the third period than Pettersson and Lindholm, which is so bizarre to me. It's Pontus Holmberg, for crying out loud. And with that in mind, I wanted to head over to social media and read some perspectives and ideas regarding the way Elias Pettersson performed at this tournament and whether or not it actually was worth the price of admission. Now, just to clear the record here, Pettersson had 2 goals in 5 games for the Swedish Olympic team, and those 2 goals came in the same game against Team Slovakia on Saturday. Head over to the Swedes team in general and you'll see that Elias Pettersson was tied for second on the team in goals with Adrian Kempe, William Nylander, and Gabriel Landeskog. You can just see that this team was pretty diverse when it came to its goal scoring. Lucas Raymond led the team with 9 points in 5 games, but he only had 1 goal. Mika Zibanejad had 3 goals, 6 total points there. Rasmus Dahlin had 4 assists, so he also kind of popped off in this tourney. Elias Pettersson was one of the top goal scorers, but he only had 2 points in 5 games. With that in mind, let's head over to what Cam Robinson said early in yesterday's USA-Sweden game. Pettersson is playing a very heavy, effective puck protection game, constantly finding little plays deep in the offensive end. That line is a problem for the Americans. Kai Wei Feng then said, why is he seeing no action at all in the third period? Because the coach is an idiot, simple as that. Petey looked really good in the first and second period. Anita says the coach is dumb. This is what Jacob Doodle went out there and tweeted, fellow Canucks YouTuber, big shout out over to him. He said on Twitter, screw it, I'm going to throw this out there. Pettersson was good at the Olympics, and him being stapled on the third and fourth line with 0 power play time with a Sweden team that has no center depth is brutal coaching. This game even, he was flying early, and the coach played him 9 minutes tonight, stapled the entire third period. How is he not in your offensive rotation? Why only use him in a defensive role the entire time? The guy got 2 goals a bit ago, but with basically no ice time. I would get it if he played awful, but he was good and deserved more opportunities. Now, would he flourish in this? Who knows, but give the guy a shot. Coaching absolutely played a factor in this loss to the USA. No doubt. Sapster, one of my good buddies, I don't know if he thinks I'm a buddy, but I think he is a good buddy of mine. He went out there and said that, yeah, this take is more or less my take. The issue is, however, Elias Pettersson leaves room for Sam Hallam to doubt him. Hallam, the Swedish coach, is a massive issue, no doubt about it. And I think today was Pettersson's best game all tournament, goals aside. It just wasn't enough to give Hallam 0 doubts. And thinking about the way that Sam Hallam discourse has circulated on the social medias here, we made a video about it a few days ago as well. I mean, a lot of Swedish folks went out there and commented on this video, people discussing whether or not the coaching staff actually knows what they're doing and the decisions of whom it is going out there and whom it is getting benched. Is the way Sam Hallam approaching this the correct way to navigate a team that looks like this? Is he treating the proper guys with respect? Is he giving the right ice time to the right guys? And is he playing players in positions they can succeed? Take a look at this. Salam, he has been a poor coach on the national level. This is regardless of his Pettersson deployment. Also, leaving room for doubt is me putting some blame on Petey. So what are you even complaining about? The comment was, oh yeah, the third bad coach Petey has had, so let's assume that it's not him. The thing with Sam Hallam, to my mind at least, that is so interesting is the fact that he was Elias Pettersson's coach back when Pettersson was in Växjö. He was the best player in the SHL, was way over a point per game as an 18-year-old, was the playoff MVP, broke the Swedish world record for most productive junior player season at the time, and Sam Hallam was the head coach of the guy back in that day. Now you can say that that was like 8 years ago or whatever it was, but still, I find it so difficult that the coach that saw what that Pettersson was capable of was so immediate to dismiss Pettersson in 2026's Olympic tournament after he has become more of a poised National Hockey League player who has refined his defensive responsibility, who really took a lot of those Rick Tocchet and JT Miller lessons to heart. Maybe not the gambling or the tossing of the iPads on the boards, but in terms of the defensive stability and just being able to be a dog, hard on pucks, blocking clearing attempts, doing all that. At the end of the day, though, it's JT Miller and Quinn Hughes that had the last laugh on Petey in Sweden yesterday. So with that said, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did Sweden have an Elias Pettersson problem? And was this an issue notable enough that you could go out there and point it out yourself? Is this something that you have an opinion on, or am I just making a video about a bunch of loney, phony, baloney bullcrap that doesn't really deserve to be talked about? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about EP40 and the Olympics. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.